If I've ever been broken in life, that's what broke me.
What I've gone through and what I've heard from other women is dastardly. They do not care for you.
A lot of my Black patients come to me with a lot of fear around navigating the healthcare system, scared that they're not going to come out of their pregnancies alive. And there's a lot of trauma.
The family of a pregnant Georgia woman who died after her abortion-related care was delayed.
Georgia's Maternal Mortality Review Board determined her death was preventable.
The governor of the state of Georgia, the people that signed this bill into law, she died at your hands.
There is a deep lack of humanity. It makes me lose the faith that I still have in my country. My name's Olamma Oparah. I'm a filmmaker, mother, mostly mother. I've been in Atlanta for 18 years. My partner and I found out that I was gonna have a baby, and I was really excited because I was unsure if I could conceive after what happened during my son's pregnancy. I was really excited. One day I was sitting here on the couch and I felt a shift happen. And when I got up, I was bleeding. I went to the hospital and I felt the blood, and it was more of it was coming, and I was just squeezing my legs together because I didn't know what was happening. And the nurse came in and she told me to go to the bathroom. And I went to the bathroom and it was so much blood. They came and checked on me and I told them what happened. And they sent me home. They would not say that I was miscarrying. I asked them. I said, is this a miscarriage? Am I miscarrying? Like, oh, well, you'll be fine. You'll just be passing blood. And then it clicked to me. Like, they didn't say that I miscarried because that would have obligated them to do a D&C on me.
In Georgia, the governor is poised to sign one of the most restrictive anti-abortion laws in the country.
Doctors are becoming increasingly concerned. They're very worried about what they can and cannot do for their patients.
Since Dobbs was overturned, my job has absolutely gotten harder. My name is Dr. Zuri Hemphill-Bryant. I am a board-certified OB-GYN, and I've practiced in Atlanta for the last 9 years. My patients don't always know what the overturning of Dobbs means to them. A lot of states had these trigger rules in place, and so once the state decided that they were going to place abortion bans at 6 weeks, they just went into effect. I, as a physician, was not counseled on what this ban meant. I was not counseled on what criminal activity around it would mean. There's a lot more uncertainty when I have patients tell me that they don't want to keep a pregnancy. There's a question of how can I doctor them? Can I help them find a space outside this state where they can go, or can I not? Do I have to do that silently, or do I not do that at all? There is absolutely a maternal health crisis generally, but especially for Black women. A lot of my Black patients come to me with a lot of fear around navigating the healthcare system, scared that they're not going to come out of their pregnancies alive, and there's a lot of trauma.
I'm in my 50s and I have more rights than my girls under me, my granddaughters, and daughters to come would have. My name is Shanette Williams. I'm a mother of 5. I am a grandmother of 9, and I have a great-grandson. Leading up to me getting that call in 2022, August the 19th, my oldest daughter, she told me that Amber is in the hospital. They're going to regulate her blood pressure. She went from telling me she's in pain. I don't see Amber cry. When Amber cries, it's serious. She began to cry. Her OB-GYN came in and told us that we getting ready to take her down and we're going to do the simple procedure and she'll be all set. But it was at that very moment I had to come to grips with the worst thing ever in life that could have ever happened to me. The anesthesiologist and her OB-GYN came back in and they said, we lost her.
Her doctors discussed initiating a procedure called a DNC, but Georgia had made performing that procedure a felony. So Amber waited, and she waited. And after 20 hours, Amber's heart stopped.
The reality is that pregnancy is an extremely dangerous time in women's lives. It is a time that you should be able to choose, in my opinion. For physicians, abortion care is healthcare. What is the most concerning about the abortion ban is that it restricts access for people to make choices for themselves about their bodies. And it allows people that have resources to still have the ability to make those choices while not allowing others who don't have those resources. And so that is discriminatory.
All I've ever wanted to do was get myself together so that my children and my grandchildren could see me as a whole woman. And at that very moment, that was ripped from me.
Abortion on demand. This decision must not stand. This decision must not stand.
We have to unify and we have to come together and fight this. We have to look people in the face, in the eye, and tell them this is wrong. And we demand for change. We have to hold our candidates accountable. The governor of the state of Georgia, the people that signed this bill into law, before they put a law into place or agree to something, they weigh out the odds. But who thought this out? And who are you really working for? Because this is still my outcome. Candy Miller, that's still her family's outcome. Adriana Smith, that's still her family's outcome.
You're not just in the seat of power for your party. You're running the state, the entire state, everybody. People who voted for you and people who didn't.
John Ossoff, he's a real man of his word, because off the record, no cameras, no anything. Anytime I'm in a space with John, how is Messiah? He remembers Messiah. It was not just about, let me use you to help me win the campaign.
I would invite anybody running for office to come spend a day with me. Come to my clinic and see the hurt that my patients share with me over and over and over and over again.
Children are a blessing because of what you have to go through to get them here. I think that that's the part that people forget.
We know that women giving birth today are less healthy than they were a generation ago. And if women aren't healthy, then communities aren't going to be healthy.
We need to show up on voting day, and we need to let these people know that the decisions that they're trying to make for us are not going to fly.